Welcome to my CBSE English teacher. Today, let's learn the portrait of a lady by Khushwant Singh in class 11 Hornbill. About the author. Khushwant Singh was an Indian author, lawyer, diplomat, journalist and politician. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956, which became his most well-known novel. Let's look at the theme. The story is written in first person and is in a biographical mode. It is a perception of Khushwant Singh of his grandmother through his own eyes. The story shows the special bond and connection between a boy and his granny and the changes that happen in their relationship as time passes by. Here is a summary of the story. Khushwant Singh recalls his grandmother as short, fat, and slightly bent. Her silver hair was scattered untidily on her wrinkled face. She hobbled around the house in white clothes, with one hand resting on her waist and the other telling the beads of her rosary. Khushwant Singh remembers her as not very pretty but always very beautiful. He compares her serene face to that of a winter landscape. During their long stay in the village, grandmother woke him up in the morning, plastered his wooden slate, prepared his breakfast, and escorted him to school. While he studied alphabets, she read the scriptures in the temple attached to the school. On their way back home, she fed stale chapatis to the stray dogs. The turning point in their relationship came when they went to live in the city. Now, the author went to a city school in a motor bus and studied English, law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, and many more things which she could not understand at all. Grandmother could no longer accompany him to school nor help him in his studies. She was upset that there was no teaching of God and scriptures at city school. Instead, he was given music lesson, which according to her was not meant for gentlefolk, but she said nothing. When Khushwant Singh went to a university, he was given a separate room. The common link of their friendship was snapped. Grandmother rarely talked to anyone now. She spent most of her time sitting behind a spinning wheel, reciting prayers, and feeding the sparrows in the afternoon. When the author left for abroad, grandmother did not get disturbed. Rather, she saw him off at the railway station. Seeing her old age, the narrator thought that it was his last meeting with her. But, contrary to his thinking, when he returned after a span of 5 years, grandmother was there to receive him. She celebrated the occasion by singing songs of the homecoming of warriors on an old dilapidated drum, along with the ladies of the neighborhood. Next morning, she got ill. Although the doctor said it was a mild fever and would go away soon, she could foresee that her end was near. She did not want to waste time talking to anyone. She lay peacefully in bed, praying and telling the beads till her lips stopped moving and the rosary fell from her lifeless fingers. To mourn her death, thousands of sparrows flew in and sat scattered around her body. There was no chirruping, and when Khushwant Singh's mother threw breadcrumbs to the sparrows, they took no notice of the bread. They flew away quietly when the dead body of the grandmother was carried away for the last rites. Question and answers. Mention the three phases of the author's relationship with his grandmother before he left the country to study abroad. Answer. The first phase was a period of the author's early childhood. During this phase, he used to live with his grandmother in the village. Both shared a good friendship with each other. The second phase was when the author and the grandmother moved to the city to live with the author's parents. This was a turning point in their friendship because now they saw less of each other. The third phase was the time the author joined university. He was given a room of his own and the common link of their friendship was snapped. Question number 2. Mention 3 reasons why the author's grandmother was disturbed when he started going to the city school. Answer. The author's grandmother was unhappy after knowing that the things taught to him at the school were related to Western science and learning. Second, she did not believe in such things that were taught at his new school. She was disturbed that there was no teaching about God and scriptures. Third, she was unhappy with the idea of music lessons being given at school. She considered music suitable only for people with low dignity. The disapproval of the grandmother was visible in her silence. Question number 3. Mention the way in which the sparrows expressed their sorrow when the author's grandmother died. Answer. The author's grandmother shared a unique bond with the sparrows. She seemed at her happiest self while feeding the sparrows. The day the author's grandmother died, thousands of sparrows sat scattered around her dead body. They sat there in utter silence, mourning the death of the grandmother. They took no notice of the breadcrumbs thrown at them and flew away silently after the body was carried for the final rites. Next morning, the breadcrumbs were swept away into the dustbin by the sweeper. I hope you like this video. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing to my CBSE English teacher. Thank you for watching. Like, share and comment. Thank you.